specific to the question.
So, if you win this long shot and you become president, will you restore the New Hampshire primary to its place at the front of the Democratic calendar when it was taken away by Joe Biden?
Yes. I believe in tradition. I think that our entire country can and must learn from New Hampshire. I think it's the most civically engaged state in the entire country for this reason. There's a culture of participation. You have a history, a tradition, an imperative of assessing presidential candidates. Just one state, but it's the beginning state. And I believe in tradition. I'm a Democrat who believes in tradition. I think we should conserve our environment, our resources, and our traditions like this, especially when they have served the country generally pretty well. And I think that's, and by the way, I represent, I think, the most highly engaged district in the United States, the highest voter turnout, the highest census self-return rate, which is why, and by the way, you might know this, but when I woke up the morning after that 2016 election and my daughters were crying and I promised them I would do something, I ran against a embedded, entrenched Republican who had won by 14 points in 2016 in a district that had not been represented by a Democrat since the 1958 election. And I won. Not because I was the best Democrat. I won because I invited independents and Republicans to listen, to be listened to join me, to have conversation with me. You will see policy propositions that are not informed by polls or consultants, but by my common ground dinners in Minnesota, by my on-the-job with deans when I go to work at businesses and people actually get to talk to me. And when I'm president, I will not just restore the first in the nation primary, if the DNC is willing to work with me on that, but I would also make the White House, the people's house legitimately. I would populate a cabinet with people who are the best and brightest, most able to actually manage our agencies, the people who care about customer service, the people who care about zero-based budgeting. No successful enterprise, by the way, would do what we do. Let's just take what we did last year and add a few percent. So we negotiate over how much we increase. We should be negotiating over what is important, resourcing it accordingly. I don't care if there's a D or R at the end of your name. If you're a principled person, a person of character, there'll be a place for you on my cabinet. We also have to change the cabinet. We need to engage youth. There should be a youth cabinet position. And I would also create a position of the common sense cabinet position. Someone whose sole responsibility is to identify ways to improve how we do things. Government is not business. It should not be operated like one. But the spirit of business, where you have competing ideas, competing perspectives, you have competition, by the way. That's what makes things better. And I will also, one more thing, I will use the White House grounds to include Americans, not just for black-tie dinners for the wealthy and the well-connected. I will invite Americans who want to explore the White House and enjoy its culture and have music on the grounds. I will have common ground dinners in the White House. I will not appoint ambassadors based on how much they gave my campaign. To the contrary. How shameful that we're a country that encourages civic duty, that encourages public service. People join the Foreign Service. They work for decades to improve our image around the world, to increase the American image abroad, to solve the most difficult challenges as it relates to war and hunger. How do you think they feel when American presidents then identify their biggest donors and send them to the great ambassadorships of the world, leaving the other posts in the most difficult places and countries for our real public servants? These are the things, everybody, that are just so easy to fix. And I believe America wants that chance, and they want that change, and that's how I would do it.
Guys, this is going to be our last question.